Now, KCAU 9 News starts with your forecast first.
Hey, good evening, Siouxland. Another dreary day out there as we see that conditions have been cloudy still in the area, but we'll finally be getting a little bit more sunshine tomorrow, though that sadly won't be helping us warm up too much as we see that temps right now have been still right around 0 degrees for most of the viewing area and beginning to fall under it again, as I'll be letting you know just how cool the evening will be and how many more advisories and warnings are issued across the region as KCAU 9 News starts right now.
We are Siouxland proud. This is KCAU 9 News at 6.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us at 6 o'clock. I'm Tim Seaman. According to the CDC, Iowa, Nebraska, and South Dakota are seeing higher levels of respiratory illness this year than in recent years. And with many illnesses floating around, daycare providers tell us that they're doing what they can to try to keep kids healthy. KCAU 9 reporter Tyler Eugner joins me in studio tonight and shares how one business is working to keep kids healthy. It's our top story tonight at 6. Tyler?
Thanks, Tim. I spoke with both local medical and child care professionals today. And officials tell me it's been a consistent battle to keep children sick-free.
In my age group in particular, we're seeing a lot of our strep infections.
We're seeing a lot of influenza and then like your common cold.
As of February 14th, emergency departments have received a high number of positive diagnoses for influenza and RSV across the U.S. Mary Elizabeth Childcare and Preschool says over the past couple months, they've seen plenty of kids coming in and calling out sick.
Right now, we're enrolled maybe 40. We have seen maybe about 50% that have been sick or that we've had to send home.
To help mitigate the spread of illnesses, the daycare staff work diligently to make sure the facility is clean and sick-free.
We take temperatures every morning when children come in, and that kind of, keeps it to a minimum. We do cleaning every day. We have a janitor that comes every night. The teachers are responsible for their toys in their classroom. I have the toddlers. I bring in the dishes and, the play food and all that. And, clean it, and we sanitize. We sanitize a lot. So I think that probably helps us out.
While washing your hands and covering your mouth when you sneeze can help prevent the spread.
Keeping kids home from school, obviously, when they're sick is going to help.
When someone's feeling ill, you should really stay home from either school or work.
If you send them to daycare, they're going to pass it around to everybody else. And you don't want to be that parent also, that has to say, well, you had to keep your child home because yesterday at daycare someone came and brought their child sick.
Now, if you or a family member ends up becoming sick, Mercy One officials recommend you drink plenty of water as well as fluids and eat and rest as often as possible. Now, I'm from in the studio, Tyler Eugner, KCAU 9 News.
All right, Tyler, thanks for that. Following a week of testimony and jury deliberations covering parts of 3 days, a Morris, Iowa couple has been found not guilty on multiple charges of neglect. Caleb and Jill Haberdink were accused of allowing a boy in their home to commit sexual acts involving several other children between 2019 and 2023. They were found not guilty by a jury on all 7 counts of neglect of a dependent person, which is a felony. Now, along with their own children, the Haberdinks were caring for several foster children during that period of time. Attorneys representing the couple allege the two were unaware of the boy's actions. The charges followed an Iowa DCI investigation. Well, seldom does the Sioux City Community School District cancel classes for an extended period of time because of snow, but this week it is happening because of frigid temperatures. For a second straight day, public school grounds were empty across Sioux City, and classes have already been canceled for tomorrow because of those dangerously cold conditions. School officials tell us the district considers multiple factors when determining whether to adjust the school schedule for late start, early out, or a cancellation. Additionally, the district's Director of Communications and Community Engagement tells us that in the Sioux City School District, quote, we have a large number of students without adequate winter gear, making this week's extreme temperatures difficult for many of our students to safely get to and from school. The decision to change our school schedule is not one taken lightly. That's according to Leslie Hying with the Sioux City Community School District. City officials and downtown partners here continue to work to provide more affordable housing in the city, this time on the city's west side at the Old Lamb Theater property on Market Street. The project has been in the works for months now following the departure of that theater group from the property. Today, council accepting a proposal of the Webb Apartments and the sale of about 2.5 acres of land to be used for the project, as well as entering into an agreement with Webb for a home investment partnership program loan of about $300,000.
We had a couple of resolutions that were time sensitive, so we took those up today so they could start on their project of converting the building to apartments. So we're really excited about what they're going to be doing.
We're told that once construction is complete, 42 rental units will be added to the Sioux City rental landscape. Take a quick break now. We'll pause to get an update from Chief Meteorologist Victor Perez, although, Victor, I think a lot of people are getting tired of these double-digit below zero temperatures.
It's also hard to talk about an update when we're still seeing temperatures that struggle to rise above 0 degrees. We did get the positive again today, but you'll see that overnight lows were closer towards our record low temperatures set back in 1903 as we got down to 12 below, and we actually could break it in the next few days. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as we see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, though. Temperatures are favored to be above average, looking at the central and northern plains through the next 6 to 10 days. I'll let you know just how warm we'll be getting coming up and how long we'll have to suffer through the colder weather again. Tim?
All right, Victor, thanks. Well, a bill that would ban lab-grown meat from being sold in Nebraska went before the public today. The state legislature's Agriculture Committee heard arguments on LB 246. That measure would prohibit cultivated protein food products under the Nebraska Pure Food Act. Cultivated meat is grown in a controlled environment. Now, the measure comes after Governor Pillen signed an executive order last summer banning state agencies from obtaining lab-grown or meat alternatives.
If we allow this laboratory meat to be produced or even sold in Nebraska, it's going to cast a dark shadow over the whole meat industry before it's over.
I believe every Nebraskan should be able to determine for themselves whether they want to consume a product. Banning the product outright stands in contrast to the open market system that so many Nebraskans respect.
An Ag Committee still must decide whether or not to advance that measure to the full unicameral. Here in Iowa, Iowa State Auditor Rob Sand is accusing Governor Kim Reynolds' administration of not allowing his office to audit the school voucher program. Now, the auditor's office says that the Department of Education and Revenue refused to give proof that students receiving a voucher are meeting eligibility requirements or that the funds are being dispersed appropriately. Auditor Sand says multiple requests have been made by his office to get that information.
The bottom line is this administration won't let us audit the controls on $100 million in your tax money going out on vouchers program. That program is likely to grow to over $300 million next year. And we cannot say that it has appropriate and reasonable controls for waste, fraud, and abuse. They've also refused to provide proof that the personal data of Iowans is protected in the hands of its contractor.
Now, the company that is managing the voucher program is Odyssey. Governor Reynolds responded to the report at a press conference earlier today, accusing Auditor Sand of being biased.
He has the opportunity to review it with simply signing an engagement letter. He doesn't really want the answer. He wants the political fodder back and forth to really boast his political career because that's what he's in there for. And if he really wants to get to the bottom of it, then sign the engagement letter, lay out what the scope of the work is, be transparent, and we will provide it. And that is all laid out in the response that we gave to them.
The school voucher program here in Iowa provides eligible families with around $7,800 to help pay for private school tuition and associated costs.